everyone. Today we are here at the Fort Morgan Fire Department. We're excited to tour the facility today. I'm here with Chief Boehmn, and he's going to give us a little bit of background about himself, and then we'll get started on the tour.
Awesome. My name is Chief Boehmn. I've been chief here at the Fort Morgan Volunteer Fire Department for approximately 4 years. I've been serving 18 and a half years. I started when I was 22 years old. Right out of the gate I started. So my dad was a 20-year veteran. He's the one that got me into it. So as soon as I got out of college, I decided to move back home and started working at the sheriff's office and wanted to pursue my career as a firefighter. So I started at the volunteer stage and never got out of it.
All right. Where shall we start? We'll kind of follow your lead.
What we'll do is, so at our station is, we are not a 24-hour station. I have guys that live here day by day. They are my what's called EVTs, which is an emergency vehicle technician. They work on all the trucks, keep the house clean. They do all the little maintenance things around here. Today I have Kurt Cope on. Kurt Cope was a volunteer for the 21 years with our department. He's going to take you around and show you all the trucks and describe what each truck's purpose is and their functionality and what we use them for.
If we start with the city trucks, our main truck would be our aerial, and it is reaching the end of its service life as it was purchased and placed in service in the year 2000. This aerial still has a lot of good life. However, we go by years of service, and it's outfitted with a 2,000 gallon a minute pump. These pumps are service tested annually by an independent firm, and they are tested for gallons a minute, and they are also pressure tested. It's a test that they check for vacuum leaks and pressure leaks, and that assures that the pump is serviceable. You'll notice on all our trucks, the cabins are fairly large. The trucks are sent out. The trucks are sent out one-manned at times, but we have these large cabins so that firefighters can get in and either warm up or cool off, depending on the weather conditions at the time of the call. This truck has the ability to reach 100 feet in the air. It has a waterway that is at the aerial that goes out the center of the aerial, and there is a nozzle at the end of the basket. There are controls so that you can swing this large nozzle back and forth, up and down, and you can make a fog or a stream pattern. We have lighting, and there's a spray here to keep the basket cool in case there are personnel in the basket. We keep similar equipment on all the trucks and engines. And we'll go through some of that as we go past each of the vehicles. There are hand lanterns on all the vehicles, as well as air packs. Air packs are installed in the seats so that in the event that firemen would be here and travel out with the engines or truck, they would be able to get into the air packs. And that would shorten the time that they would be able to have to spend preparing. Ventilation saws are installed here, as well as equipment that we use on the scene. These appliances are all used at the scene of fires. You notice that we use roll-up doors, and one of the purposes for these is so that the doors are not sticking out in traffic. These tool boards allow for the tools storage to be stowed away.
Less of the mess, it's more organized.
This space years ago was wasted, and they now utilize that with bottle storage. These are spare bottles for the air packs. Those are our spare bottle air packs. These are exhaust fans that we use in clearing smoke out of a structure fire. We use positive pressure ventilation in most instances. Positive pressure ventilation means that we blow at the building from outdoors, and our exit plan is a smaller exit than what we're blowing in. I have experienced when I was firefighting, your ears will actually pop when you go in, and you can effectively clear smoke very well. There's storage on engines for ladders, which we use at the scene. These ladders with hooks are for hooking on a roof which could be compromised. And of course, all engines carry supply hose, which we use to supply the engine with firefighting water, as well as hose for firefighting. And there's a good example of how it's laid out on
So
our
the difference between the hoses, this yellow stuff, here's the stuff you see with the fire hydrants in your local area. This stuff, the white stuff, is usually what we use to put the fires out with. This is 5-inch, this is 2-inch, and then the smaller stuff that we run is 1.5 inches. These are what we call alley loads. You can drop it in the alley and take off. Hit the fires in the back of the structure. Same with this here, it's just a quick load of 2.5.
We have a back camera installed here. And anytime the truck is in reverse, that camera will pick up a picture behind the rear view of the truck. Very similar view of the other side. We have another exhaust fan. This is a rescue tool that they've added in the last few years. And it gets a lot of use. We carry what they call the Jaws of Life, but this is a lighter version and
It's battery
battery powered, and they really are getting a lot of use out of that.
So instead of going on scene and all the other trucks that we have, a lot of this time is all about time. If you can take the time and without having to hook your hydraulics up, this thing's ready to go. Usually. This is what we use to cut door frames. We use this to cut windows. We use this to spread, to do anything we can on car accidents, and we have used it on doors and house fires also. So it's all about time in our service and how quickly we can do something. Being volunteer, not being here all the time. Every second counts with what we do.
We have one mounted on the rural engine. This is two departments. It's a city department and a rural or county department. And we have one mounted on both engines, the city and the rural. There's just an example of some of the other tools and appliances that we have. Bolt cutters are often necessary. More of the
Bottle storage.
We have decided recently that it is not viable economically to install generators on trucks. It has gotten very high priced. The mechanics of installing generators and wiring them up and outlets on the sides of trucks and reels, cord reels, it's not economically viable. So we just incorporated these little portable generators. They're reasonably light. I mean, reasonably, and this is a bright light on the end that's installed right on the end of the generator. Plus, there are, in addition to that light, there are outlets. So you've got the power ability as well, and there are two of them on here. So you would be able to have some power if you needed it. The operator on this, the engineer for this truck, does so from up above there. They call this a midship pump panel. Reason we went to this years ago rather than a side mount pump panel is no matter how you pulled up to the fire, the guy at the pump panel could see what was going on. And we went to that type of pump panel. You see, they thought of storage fairly well. They have storage for air packs even in the corners of the cab. Now, when you look at the backup engine, they hadn't installed those yet. When you look at the backup engine, you'll see that it is very, very similar. If we go through the compartments, you'd see that it is almost a carbon copy. The hose blades are the same.
The equipment in each one of the doors is almost.
The equipment you would find is almost identical.
We do that so we have a little bit of repetition. So if they're on two different calls, or you drive this truck one day and you're on this truck the next, you know where stuff's at on each call. So
the first thing that new volunteers take on is how to learn how to operate the trucks. They learn how to operate the trucks and how to don and doff air packs. They get a lot on the job training real fast. We've got two guys right now that started in right away with, I mean, they've been to fires as quick as we could get them in air packs because we just had to have them. The equipment on this is pretty much the same. It's just the truck innovation was a little bit different. So the layout is only slightly changed. You're good?
yeah, we're good.
Good.
So now that Kurt's done talking about our two engines from the city, this is our versatile unit. This is new to us in 2016 or 2018, excuse me. It's our new heavy rescue. We'll show you the other one that we have over here that replaced. We purchased this through a local company out of Fort Collins. It's 6 feet longer than our other one and houses one extra guy. So this is what we use on all medical, all car accidents, all structure fires. The thing is set up to have anything tech rescue, hazmat situation. This truck rolls on 90% of our calls. We have a hopper here used for floor dry. So when you got an oil spill in a car accident, we don't have to worry about carrying all the extra bags. We incorporated a hopper in this thing to be able to save space and room. It does have a walkway. I can take you guys up there as soon as we're done here, but it does have a center walkway. Sometimes you'll see the trucks with the back end where people can sit in them, or a back walkway to have the space. We designed four-wheel drive. That's why it's so tall. For the fact of the matter, with the rural areas that we go in, can get kind of hairy sometimes, especially in the snow storms. But each cabinet has pull-out doors. All have different equipment. Like this side has traffic cones and just regular tools, and then the other side has our SCBA packs for the guys that are inside the truck. NFPA compliance requires a air pack, one per seat, basically. So we have to have at least 5 air packs on this truck because at any point in time, we can carry 5 guys in the units. Like Kurt said, this was dead space back in the day. This was like we did on the other truck, where we put fire extinguishers in this one. So I mean, this truck has pretty much anything you can think of when it comes to car accidents, tech rescue. Like Chris said, it's not equipped with the generator. It comes with it. We bought the generator. It is equipped with a winch. So the winch can actually point off of all 4 sides of the vehicle. It all has plug-ins, so we can use this thing on any winching situation, any rescue we need. Has all our medical equipment. Has all of our cribbing. It's kind of hard to pull out. It's kind of heavy. This is what we use. Used to use old wooden blocks when I first started, when Kurt first started. They've gone to this high composite plastic, which is a lot more durable. Just our extra spare tools, backboards, scoofs, anything we would need in a rescue. This truck is equipped with a light tower. I can show you when we go to the top. Hold from the panel down here. This is just more storage. Scene lights, like Kurt showed you, is a smaller, more compact situation. So we can use these. We actually let PD use these quite a bit too. We share quite a bit of our equipment throughout the city just to make sure everybody has what they need. More air packs. Guys put their gear in here so it's not so tight. Inside the cab, you'll see, but there's quite a bit of room inside the cab. Inside the cab, we can house 3 in the back. Fold up seats. It has the center console full of our medical stuff that we don't like to get cold. So there's oxygen, there AEDs, or rubber gloves, flashlights, water, of course, stuffed animals for car accidents or kids in trauma situations. So, like I said, this truck is extremely tall from what we did have. So, and this is just a typical driver's seat. Computerized screens anymore. Tilt wheel, so bigger guys like myself or smaller guys can be more comfortable driving.
And do you guys have like assignments?
So basically, yeah, so your officer is always in charge. So like myself, we have 6 officers, and then it just depends on who shows up on scene. So it's myself, an assistant chief, and then we have 2 captains and 2 lieutenants. And they're all voted on every 2 years. So actually we have elections next week.
Okay.
So yeah, so basically your officer is your assigner. So he tells you what to do. So say you have a better strength and your officer knows what you can do better, he's gonna put you on that assignment, you know. And then if you have rookies, we have a lot of rookies, they're gonna follow the senior member or the officer around to figure out what's needed. They're gonna be the ones to tell, you know, down the future how to pass along all our information.
Gotcha.
Basically, yeah, that's how we do that. There's really not a true assignment. We do have guys that are required to come get trucks. They live close though. They live close, work close. I mean, we have guys, I think we have 10 members on now that work for the city and themselves. So between streets, water, gas, I don't think we have any parks anymore, but yeah, they're all kind of spread out. So yeah, but that's the only assignment we really have. But yeah, your officer is in charge. And if an officer doesn't show up, which is very, very rare, it's usually your senior member, your most qualified, your most decorative member. So
Gotcha.
Let's go walk around the other side of the truck. This is the other part of the cab. Pick up top here in a second. I'll finish going through the doors real quick. This is the other side of yours. This thing will actually pull out on this side also from the other side. It's called a 90-20 split. So there'll only be 20% left in here. We call these crutches. They keep the car from toppling over, from tipping over. In situations where we need to make sure stabilization so the car doesn't fall on us with the patient inside. So that's it on that. Once again, we have bottle storage on the sides. We utilize all the space we can. Same thing, SCBA packs on this, just smaller tools. We actually have a ladder. We have some short guys that can't get the top up here, so put a ladder in here. And then the back here is the fun cabinet. This is where we keep all of our extrication equipment. This was purchased when the truck was purchased. We actually have 2 sets of these. These are what, like Kurt said, the jaws of life is what this is, but it's actually called the spreader. Along with the spreader, we have what's called a cutter and 2 rams. So the cutter is more just a metal cutter. It'll only cut. This does more of the spreading of the metal, trying to get in and all that. This is the power pack. So like I was saying over there, with that battery operated unit, we have to hook up hoses. We have to start the power pack and hook up the equipment itself. So those just save us a little time if you don't need a full-blown extrication. But we have these tools just in case we do have the big extrications that have to be gone through. So they're not cheap. So I can kind of run through some prices on them. This set alone was $55,000. Yeah, and that's just these tools. That doesn't include everything else in this door. That's just this tray right here. It's $55,000. So for us to be a volunteer department and have the gain of our taxpayers and our boards, it's huge because we wouldn't have this if it wasn't for, you know, our donations also. So we do a yearly fundraiser. But yeah, everything is paid for by tax base and donations. So take you up top here. It's just a walkway. We have a couple of doors for more space. Big work tech rescue stuff. The majority of our department is actually ice rescue certified. So if we have an ice rescue, we keep all our ice rescue suits up top here. So we don't use all the time. So cotton blankets, stuff for when we're on scene, all our brooms and stuff for oil spills and spreading out the thing. This is our command light. I was telling you down below, it actually pop up as 4 lights. And we have scene lighting 360 with this truck now. This back door here is just where we fill up. We keep a lot of our hazmat stuff, extra bags of floor dry. And that's the hopper I was talking about. We fill it and then have extra also. Just any way you can minimize storage and have the most storage out of anything. So as your teacher's panning around you, anything you see that's red and white is considered city. So these 3 trucks here are all going to just be in our city limits. There's not going to go outside the city limits. The truck we're standing on now is a virtual truck. It goes back and forth. It'll actually run roll calls and city calls. Anything that's all white is out of another tax base. It's outside of city limits. So anybody that pays county tax on our fire tax will see white trucks. We do intermix if we have to, but I've never seen it. So anything that we have up here is all, anything white is considered outside of the city limits. We have 2 separate boards we answer to. We answer city council and we answer to a rule board. So that's where all our funding comes from, is those 2.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the process that's involved if someone wants to become a firefighter?
So basically, it's kind of simple, actually. We have an application process, and what we do is you come pick an application up from us. You have to have 2 members sign it. You have to be between the ages of 21 and 35 or 39. 21, 35 right now. I had to think about it. And you're voted on. So we have meetings once a month, just a business meeting once a month. It's every second Tuesday. Any other Tuesdays we practice. So we practice every Tuesday throughout the year. Like I was talking before, you have to have 36 hours a year of training. And that can be in-house, out-of-house, anything fire related. We like all in-house, just so you know, you're training with your guys, you're training with everybody that, you know, is here. But basically, so you go through the application, go through a background check, drug test, physical, all that good stuff. And then you'll be met with our trustees. We have 3 trustees, and they will meet with you and make sure this is something you really want to do. They bring your spouse in if you have a spouse. That way they have an idea what you're about ready to get into. Your rookie year is very, very busy. You have 2 nights a week for an entire year. So basically on Tuesday nights, you come down with all the guys. And then like Kurt was saying, everybody's trained on the vehicles on a separate night. So you learn them, you know how to drive them, you know how to run them, you know how to pump them. So that's an opposite night of the week. So you're gone 2 nights out of the week on top of all the calls you're running and our extracurricular stuff. And then we get asked to do a lot of things. It's not for the faint of heart. I'm not going to lie. There's going to be things people want to see. And it's one thing we tell them, you know, up front. This isn't, you know, you really got to be yourself. And if you can't do it, you can't do it. So we give you a year. Once you're voted on, you get a year of a rookie. And then you're voted on again as a full-time member. So you have a 1 year to prove yourself, which is good. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time to learn the trucks, know the guys, make as many calls and learn as much as you can in that 1 year. And of course, you're learning for the next 20 while you're here. So that's kind of the process we go through. So,
And so you do most of all of your training in-house?
Yes.
Everything's on
we
here?
do send guys. So we have a budget to where we can send guys. I just sent 4 guys to Indianapolis to a conference up there. It was all there's hands-on training and then conference classes. We send guys through EMT school. We send guys through any kind of training that you want. We usually send you through it. There's no problem. We have grain bin rescue. We have ice rescue. We have, we don't do a lot of it, but the high angle rescue. If anybody wanted it, we would be able to do it. So.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And do they have to have certifications?
No, you do not. Like right now, I think I'm the only one with a fire one in the house.
Okay.
We do have a paramedic on staff. We have 2 EMTs, and hazmat ops. I'm also hazmat operations. We have a couple guys that went through the class but never finished it. So same with me and my EMT. I never finished my EMTs. I couldn't delegate the time. So with the job,
Understood.
but yeah, so because you actually have 36 hours with them also a year, so that'd be 72 hours of training just in those two professions.
Gotcha.
As a volunteer, when would somebody be able to go for training? Is it during the rookie year? Is it anytime during?
Oh no, so
volunteer-
we have a training officer.
Okay.
So it's our first captain, and he sets the training dates. I mean, he works with their schedules and stuff like that to figure out. Like right now, I think it's on Wednesday nights. So Tuesday nights is practice, Wednesday nights is training, unless Jeff is working. Jeff is one of my EVTs. He's my training officer also. He sets it to where he's working, so it's easier for him to be down here, you know, and then just come down and work. Usually it's 2 or 3 guys. It's not a full packed house, and we don't do like application periods. We have whenever you want to join, you join. You know, some departments do by, you know, all right, on January 1st, we open it up for a month, and then we invite everybody in and do that, but we don't do that. It's so say you want to join in May, you can join in May.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how we run. So
And then as far as like any specialized training, like you were mentioning the EMT
Mhm.
and that kind of thing, that can happen anytime during
anytime.
your.
Well, usually after your first year,
Mhm.
you know, you got to prove yourself, and then we'll spend the money on you. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, the college out here offers it. We take heed and let them go. So it's better to have more than anything. I've got one go through EMT class right now, so she's just about done.
Nice. What like personal qualities would you say make up a good firefighter? I can imagine communication is probably one of them, which is one of our North Star skills that our schools target. So could you speak a little bit?
Oh,
that?
absolutely. Communication is key. Communication, if you don't have communication on fire grounds, you don't have communication on anything you're doing. It's not good. But I mean, you've got to have humor. You've got to have that personality. You don't have a personality, sometimes you can get yourself in trouble down here. You know, the communication is key. Visual skills, being really be able to visualize and see what's going on. Stop and think is what we always tell guys. Stop and think. Just be ready to go. Always have that second and third option in your mind. But those are pretty much the key traits. You got to get along with guys. We have a diverse group of people. We have people coming from different nationalities, different work areas, different stuff like that. I mean, I got farmers, I got salesmen, I got bankers, I got, you know, anybody. I mean, so really got to be a diverse person to be able to get along with anybody.
Are there any like misconceptions about firefighting or firefighters in general that you could share?
Yeah, the beer drinking and the partying, and that doesn't happen. I mean, although we have our off time, but yeah, that doesn't happen. I mean, back in the day it did, but not anymore. There's too much liability. There's no, that is a huge misconception. And yes, we do more than cops sometimes, but
It's funny. In terms of like being able to complete your assignments, your calls adequately, is there like a physical component that you guys?
we do 2 physical tests throughout the year.
Oh, okay.
You're not required to pass them. It's just to show, hey, I need to get back in the gym. I need to start being better in myself when I eat. I need to do that. We do offer a gym down here. I'll show you guys that when we pull through here. So we actually built a gym down here so the guys have somewhere to go. They can't afford the regular gyms in town. We have somewhere down here. And plus, if you drop a call, already here. So it helps us up too. So, but yeah, we do usually 2 physical tests. The guys don't know about it. We kind of pop it on them, and it's usually, you know, a 15-minute drill and you're done. So
Gotcha.
How much does your suit weigh on you alone? Or how much does the suit?
70 pounds.
I think so.
70
yeah.
with your SCBA. So, I mean, I'm a larger man. I mean, you got to remember, you're going to pull me out of the fire possible. So, I mean, you're looking a lot of weight you got to pull. So, yeah, with your SCBA, your helmet, boots, your bunker pants, your bunker coat, you're looking 70 pounds extra.
How much are the water hoses? So
It just depends. The 2.5s are really heavy. It's all water weight. So, I mean, you just take the calculation, but they're not light. They're extremely stiff. They're extremely hard to pull through. So usually I have 2 guys on a 2.5 and one on 1.5 inches. So.
So we know that you guys are volunteer, but do you have any knowledge on what a salary would look like for someone who was?
Yeah, so I actually have a guy that's a lieutenant out of Brighton, and his daughter actually just got hired in Brighton also.
Yeah.
So basically you're gonna start between $65,000 and $80,000 a year, depending on where you're at. Out here, I'll give you a comparison. We make $20 a call, we split it. You got 20 guys on a call, you're making $1. So next year it got bumped up next year to $75 a call. So there was 103 years before we actually got a raise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 1920, they decided to give firefighters out here a little stipend.
Gotcha.
So it took that long for somebody to go pregnant and do it. So, but yeah, so you're looking at that like 10 days a month. A lot of those guys have part-time jobs elsewhere. So, like I said, we have one member on now that's a lieutenant at Brighton, so he does this on his off time. So
Any advice you could give to students who are potentially looking into getting into this?
if you're looking to get into volunteer and you want to help your community, it's the best way to do it. Not only that for yourself, but for the community itself. You're going to find who you are in this profession. You're going to find out, what kind of person you really are. Usually you find some really great people, that want to do this because you're putting your life on the line for nothing. So that's the way we look at it. So
yeah, has to be a passion.
yes,
for sure.
absolutely.
Anything, any other questions? Sorry.
What's a story that impacted your life in a positive way that you like hold on, talk about it for both of you for the rest of your life? Whoever wants to go first.
I had a great time. I served 21 and a half years here and loved it. There were things that I didn't like doing as much. I didn't care for the medicals as much. There was too much chance for litigation. And so I kind of stood at the rear in the medicals. I didn't care for that as much. I loved serving and I worked the medicals, but I had a great time. And I've been involved with fire department since 1984. So I've been here a long time.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That's awesome.
So that's kind of how I am too. I mean, to live to serve. Dad was down here since '83.
I served with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Dad got
served.
on. Dad got on in 1980, so it's been the whole life down here. Kurt and Dad were served together.
Yeah.
Dad actually retired on September 11th, 2001. Was his last night of service. It was kind of weird, but
Chills.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm with Kurt. But I mean, some of the things. I mean, the gratitude. I'm not there to look to get the awards and all that. I mean, but it's fun to go out in the community and you see people. I don't know you've met them, but just to know that those people are walking because of something you did is probably one of the best feelings you'll ever have. So
Very rewarding.
yes. So, but yeah, it's kind of where I'm. I mean, stories we can sit down and power, but we run so many calls you just forget too. It's kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
Do you know of any of the requirements for somebody who would be going into a paid position?
I do. So a lot of them is testing. They say you don't need algebra, but you need algebra to test. You got to have that. I've actually taken the back in 2005, I believe, I started testing. Never got on, but there's a lot more job openings now than back after post. When I would go for a job, it would be one job opening, you have 1,000 applicants. So you've got to fight that. Now they're begging for people. So I mean, physical agility, like we talked, you have to have that. There's this called CPAT test. You have to have the CPAT test to be able to get on and start testing. They'll usually run you through a mental test, a psychology test. They run you through a physical agility test themselves, and they actually run a written test. Your writing, your reading, your math, all that kind of stuff too. So that's one too. And then usually have your chief's interview. Now they're actually, once you do all that, you go to an academy. They'll send you through their own academy. That way, you're trained how they want you trained. A lot of the times you have to have your EMT before you even start looking at doing the fire department stuff. If you don't have your EMT, you can't really even apply, or you have to have it within a certain amount of time. So if there's something you really want to do, EMT is one thing you want to jump into. Get on that EMT and get your EMT certification. It's cool.
So I imagine then you also have to keep up with required training to keep your license.
Yes, exactly. So like with mine, I have to turn mine in every 3 years to show I have my required training hours. So. One thing that's different behind you here is this is called a tender. So out in our rural areas, we don't have firefighters. So this will actually hold 3,000 gallons of water. We have 2 of them in this station. We have 1 over across the other station. This is our oldest. We actually have a newer one out back, and it's not as good of a truck. So we kept our better trucks in here. So this one and the one at the very end, I can walk you through. We don't have to go through it, but these will hold up to 3,000 gallons of water. So we're out in those rural areas. We don't have fire hydrants. We can actually have the access to water. There's actually tanks on either side of these. They're called porta tanks. We'll drop these porta tanks on the ground. That'll hold the same amount that's inside the truck. So this truck can leave and go get water. So this giant swimming pool with the things on the side of the truck, we drop them. You can actually grab from this truck here and take a suction and put it into the pump. So that's how we get the water outside of the city limits. So just a perspective, how much we actually cover. This yellow area is what we cover, 250 square miles. To give you perspective, the little town of Fort Morgan's right here. So that's just the city limits there. This is all rural and this is what we cover. Everything else is covered by different districts. Wiggins, New Ram, Hill Rose, Brush. This is what we call no man's land down here. There's no fire protection down there. This actually butts up to Adams County, Washington County. So, then the last truck down here is, our other tender. It holds up to 3,000 gallons of water. It's our main unit. It's brand new. It's 2021, I believe. This is our newest unit in the house.
And how long do you keep the fire trucks?
They're a 20-year rotation. So we're actually getting ready to replace the one that's sitting over there. It's actually 40 years old. The one sitting over Station 2.
Wow.
So yeah, so we have extra hoses around the house, hose washers. Keep extra SCBAs. We wash hose. The hose has to be washed every time it gets dirty. So we do wash hose. Extra hoses in here. We have extra SCBAs. Those get wet. We can dry them in here. That's just all our extra hose over there that we have. We've actually downsized a lot. We used to have 8 racks full of hose instead of 4. So
After you go out on a call, how much is required to, like, do you have things to put away?
oh,
or
absolutely. So it's the requirement of the firefighters to come back and put the trucks back in service. Kurt will wash the hose, or my EBTs will wash the hose. If anything breaks on the call, they'll do that. They'll fix that. Wash the trucks after every call. Everything is washed. That's why everything looks so good as old as it is. You make sure your air packs are full. You make sure the gas cans are full. You make sure everything's ready to go for the next call. We do hand out 2 sets of gear to 3 members. So if you go inside of a house fire, you have to decomp. There's too many carcinogenics in the air anymore, so we have to decomp. So basically, you're washed down. That's what this machine does, and we dry your gear. You hang everything up, and then we dry. One of my EMTs, she's really good at washing. She'll go through it. If you look dirty, she'll take the gear from you, and we have a washer dryer, big extractor they call them, and we'll wash things.
So when you're not, when you have, is it 2 days that you're here a week?
No, we're not here. We're here. We got radios. Everybody has a radio.
Okay.
Everybody on my department has a radio. So
Okay.
you come whenever you can.
Okay. So what other things are you doing here when you're not out on a call? Like, what kind of upkeep?
That's what the EBT guys do.
Okay.
That's what
I mean, if he can run through a daily day of what he does, and they'll just kind of talk to him and work.
yeah, every day I have a different duty every single day. A pair of trucks every day or cleaning the station. Today, I actually will clean the break room, the bathroom, and take care of these 2 tenders. That's my job for today. Then, there's a duty for every single day, and it's up on the board down here. Then we scratch it off that we completed our task. We work a firefighting shift. I'll work 24 hours today, then I'll be off for 2 days. I'll return here Saturday.
I think you should call that if you guys got time on me.
Yeah.
And I heard you say she, so
We actually have 3 female firefighters.
that's awesome.
And one of the female firefighters is an EVT.
Yes, so Tanya.
Oh,
the
yes,
one that
okay,
reports, but
yeah.
she runs dual goals. She is the admin assistant, and she's also an EVT, so she stays down here 24 hours.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
All right. So
No.
girls, you can do this too.
absolutely. The guy I was just talking about, Lieutenant out of Brighton, his daughter just got on Brighton Fire. She just graduated, the only girl in her class. So, that's probably necessary.
I don't know, it might be.
So in there, we have a compressor. Oh, it is unlocked. This is how we fill our air bottles. This yellow machine in here. It's called an air compressor, SCBA bottle filler. So you put 2 bottles in at a time. Inside there, you tie them down, and you can actually film. That's where the storage is on that backside there. It puts air inside of our bottles, which are, we have spare bottles here, but
Here, real high pressure,
yes.
real high pressure. We're talking 6,000 pounds per square inch.
Yeah, you're carrying one of those on your back. So. So the part of the station we've been in was built in the 1970s. So I don't know if you can pan up there. This is actually our old original hose cart from the city. I don't know if you can see it there or not.
I think you can get a better view.
Yeah, you can probably see it. This part was built actually by the members and some contractors, but mainly by the members to save money. Like I said, everybody has 2 sets of gear. This is usually where everybody's sets of gear sits. If they don't carry it. But that's all of some of our old original equipment. Some of it's going to go to the museum for a little bit, but we keep it up there just on display. So this section here was built in the late 70s, early 80s. The section we're about ready to go to was actually built in 1902, I believe. So all these doors were cut out. I remember Dad telling me stories about rookie practice was cutting these windows out. They all used to look like that. And they cut in bay windows so they could actually use the station over here. This over here will house our smaller equipment, and it doesn't look smaller, but it is. This is our newest truck. This was purchased last year. This is used for wildland firefighting. It's called a 6x. It'll hold 1,000 gallons of water. It's used for grass fires, all terrain stuff. We can do rescue out of it. Anything you really want. This truck is more versatile than anything you've ever purchased. Yeah, she's big. It's actually an old Army unit we bought out of Montana, and they refurbished it all. And then the guys put all in-house, did all the other works. It showed up with nothing more than a flatbed on it.
Wow.
So this is the smaller unit I was talking about, the one that the big one replaced. So this is actually used as a backup. So if we have more than one rack, this is actually used as a hazmat unit also. And it has that material on here. And like I said, it's more of a backup for us. And then we can't get rid of something like this. Actually has a bottle filler on the backside. It's called a cascade system. We can fill bottles on the scene with this unit. We can't fill with any other unit. This truck here was just refurbished last year. Used to look like a regular F550. We put the bigger tire on it with better sand control. We have a lot of sandy situations out here. This is also used for grass fires. Actually go inside the fires, and we'll get inside the fires with this truck here and put them out the side. So, like I said, we offer a gym for our members. And you try to upgrade it as much as possible. Cardiac arrest is the number one killer. Well, it was the number one. Cancer is now, unfortunately. Firefighters, so we try to keep everybody's fitness up to date. I can walk you through the offices. We actually have a full-time fire marshal, so he's in charge of all the codes and compliance. And he's not here today. I'll let you talk to him. He's not. Yeah, so he'll be in that office. He goes through and he does all the building planning, all the sprinklers, and then he does building inspections also. So some of the cool things right here. Everybody asks about the pool. The pool is right here. It's alive and well. And I'll show you the top side when we go upstairs. It's unfortunately it's blocked off because insurance will not let us have it. So when this station was built,
There was a thick foam pad at the bottom.
Oh, okay, okay.
when this station was built, so the dispatcher's office that's out there was actually right here. So this is the original dispatcher's office inside here. It kind of shows some of the different things, different radios we've had, other different communications. Those are actually some from our fires that we've used. There was a phone in here one time too, I don't know where it's at, but that had melted inside of a fire when we were sides. And everything was controlled for the fire department right through here, through this building here. You could actually stop the stoplights in there. You could call comm center. There was some other features too. Ring down, they start the sirens. The department's required to do the tornado sirens in town. We do them every Friday at noon. These guys, there's 2 guys that can sign them off. And the event of a tornado is myself and assistant chief are the only guys that can do it. So. So, yeah, so just down that hallway is just Tanya's office and stuff like that. There is an old original jail downstairs. It's very dark. We won't take it down.
Okay.
But the original city jail is downstairs.
Wow.
Still has the bars, still has the cells, it still has the beds. So, yeah. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So,
That's neat.
yeah. And then come this way. just our front foyer, and then we'll go upstairs. I'll show you the guys' apartments and our meeting room. So out here, this is a wall of our members. So we update that pretty much every year, every other year. You go upstairs, just watch the handrail on your left. It's only gonna run by rock guys. This is still part of the original 1950s. So when we have our business meetings once a month, we hold them in here. Last time was actually our kids' Christmas party, so it's still decorated like Christmas. Once a month, we hold business meetings. This is usually where we start our night. Kitchen back there, we have meals quite a bit. Just a big event area. The trophies and stuff you see are from back competitions. We used to have a firefighter competition starting in the late 1800s. And a lot of these are from those competitions, state championships. A lot of them is what there's left. So
Cool.
some of our older ones, I think, are over here. I think that's the 30s.
They're like events that you guys would.
So they're, yeah, so basically you're jumping off of a truck at 15 miles an hour.
Okay.
You're hooking hoses to hydrants, you're hooking hoses to trucks. We actually still have our old racehorse truck, it's downstairs, but you would hook a hose to the truck and it would come across, somebody else would hook another hose on with a Y, it's called.
Uh-huh.
2 hoses would hook it on that and you run down and hit the target.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. They got a lot of the moving races got banned because guys were getting hurt and the insurance wasn't liking it very much anymore. So this is just our regular meeting room. Over here is our game room, we call it. We have poker night up here every once in a while. There's the pool, that's why I brought you in here. We have a pool table, just an area to sit. We'll have poker up here. The guys are very well camaraderie and stuff like that. So we like to come up here and do stuff.
Nice and cozy.
Yeah. And then the last part will be the apartment where the guys stay. So they're just one guy at a time. We had it remodeled 2 years ago when they came back full time. So this will really our EVTs will stay throughout the night. There's a kitchen across over here, and then there are bedrooms back in the back.
My bedroom's back there.
Bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back.
Nice.
We do have our own bed. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not required to have separate rooms because these guys don't stay together. There's always somebody separate here, so. Yeah, back here, the guys' bedroom.
Yeah, I do have my own bed. Mine.
Like I said, everybody has their own beds.
Nice.
So,
I've lived here since 1990, so I have only not lived here for 4 years. We were not manned for 4 years. Now I worked here, but it was only days.
we came in needed to have the 24-hour guys back. We were going through so much equipment trying to get these guys in on weekends and stuff like that. So these guys will work Christmas, they'll work Thanksgiving, they work New Year's, they work all the holidays. Now they're compensated throughout the year to keep up with that. But yeah, they're on
Christmas this year.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
so that kind of concludes everything. I mean, if you guys got any more questions or
I don't think so.
Okay.
This was great. We really appreciate
Yeah,
you guys. Like you just laid it all out for us and we learned so much. I know our students learned a lot as
Good.
well. So
Good.
we just appreciate it. If students want to reach out, if they have questions, could you tell them how to contact you guys? What would be the best way?
actually probably just email is the best. My email is Trae Boehmn, Trae.Boehm at City of Fort Morgan. It's TRAE.BOEHM at City of Fort Morgan, and Fort is spelled out.
Okay.
So that's the best way to reach us because you guys are busy enough down here, not answering. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yes,
We
thank you.
appreciate your
We
time.
appreciate
it.
Yes, thank you.